Hi there, welcome to Transcona Trailer Sales. Today we'll be walking you through your 1997 Roadtrek 170. We are just going to start off at the back of the unit. This is where you're going to have that spare tire located. You just have to undo this strap, and then there will be a couple 19mm bolts just holding that spare tire to this mount. If you open up that back door, you do notice this is an emergency exit. You just have to zip these up. You got these clamps, you just undo them. And in that case, the screen would pop out of place and the window would be right behind it. You have it set up right now like it is so. Like the back dinette, you have it set up as a bed. You could take one of these back cushions just to fill in the center. And you have the table sitting on the ledges. This post I'll show you after once we're inside. Right down below here, you do have a bunch of storage space, as well as a nice little bottle jack, tire iron to get those lug nuts off. And then to run the jack, some couple extra tools. In this right-hand corner here, you can just pull that carpet back. And it is where you're gonna get access to your battery. We've already tested it and made sure it's good to go still. So you're good for this season. But if you're wanting to take those, disconnect it whenever you're storing it for a while, the connections are right there. And they are wing nuts, so you don't need any tools to do that. We're just gonna go around the left side of the unit. Get your gas fill right here. Just open up that cap. It is a locking gas cap as well, which is on the keychain. If you were wanting to lock that. We do have your standard 30-amp power cord, like so. That's where you plug that in. Right here, you got these two locks. The key is on the keychain. I have them unlocked just for video purposes. You can fold this guy up. It will lock into place with that little hinge to your left. So always making sure before you go to fold this down, because it is fiberglass, it can be delicate, that you're just pushing that rod in just to assist it to fold down. You got your starter kit, which comes included with a sewer hose, 15-foot water hose, and then a 15-amp park adapter to convert from your 30, so you can plug this thing into your standard household outlet. Just keep it in mind, you're not going to run the AC on that. It's really just to run your fridge and your lights. Now inside here, you do also have a little light. You can turn that on. Gives you some extra light. I like to run the power cord through the plumbing hole. That way, less chance of rodents or anything else getting inside. Right here, you got this little plastic cap, which you do just have to loosen off. That's going to be for your city water connection. Pull the garden hose in through here, connect that, and it pressurizes all those lines. Of course, if you're out of sight with service, I'm going to show you the tank fill on the other side once we get there. Got an exterior shower, coax inlet if you were to run cable or anything in there. That's about it for inside here. Fold this down. Right here, you're gonna notice just a fridge service port. Not much you need to worry about inside there. And then of course you get your hot water heater. Just unlocking that tab will allow that to pop the water heater cover out of place. You got an 1.1/8" drain bolt right down here at the bottom. Whenever you first get to your campsite, you're always going to want to give that pressure relief valve a pull. There should be a shot of water coming out of there, letting you know that the tank's full. We do currently still have it winterized. It's still too cool to summerize it. So that's why there's no water coming out of there. To get it back into place, it's just the total opposite. Lining those tabs up on the bottom, pulling and twisting. Get you there. Whenever your furnace is running, it's going to be blowing out hot air, so just be mindful of that. And then the little driver step here, fold this up. They do got a little latch here, so you can mount that like so. Just get a flashlight. And that's where you're gonna have your sewer outlet. Those ears are gonna be the same ears your sewer hose has, so you just have to loosen that off. Connect your sewer hose to your dump, and that would be that. This is the freshwater drain right here. And then right down below, you do have a black and a gray tank. The black is obviously from your toilet, so it's gonna be your dirtiest water. You're always gonna wanna empty that first. Then you got your gray valve, which is typically a little cleaner water filled from your sink and your shower. And then to your left, you do have your propane. To open that up, you just counterclockwise all the way and slowly. It opens up the flow of propane to the unit. This is also where the fill is located. Now, because it's an RV tank, you do have to go somewhere that fills these. Most campgrounds and RV service shops should have it, and you can fill right on up. Folding that guy down allows that guy to come down. Driver's side, that's where these keys are located. If you open up that door, just your standard Dodge cockpit. And around the front of the unit, again, just your Dodge camper van. And then around this left side here, you got your passenger door and your main inside door for the unit. Of course, we'll go over awning quickly. So you just got to pop this rail out of place. Now you can either start twisting it like it is so, or you can loosen this off, which will allow you to extend that in case it's more comfortable for you. Always making sure you lock it back into place whenever you're traveling at the top there. And then to get that awning up, it's just as simple as twisting. The awning's going to start making its way out. And once it's fully extended, you won't be able to twist anymore. Just make sure you don't force it further than it wants to go. And that's all we will go out today. It does go a little bit further. And then of course you got your legs which snap in here. And they can fold down and twist. Oh, sorry. You twist it and then you can peg that down to the ground. Set your height. Tighten that up. And once you peg that down to the ground, it'll be nice and firm. And then of course, just loosening that off whenever you're traveling and lifting this guy back into place. Now, whenever you lock it into place, just making sure that foot slides into this plastic piece like so, because this other side isn't done up properly. Clipped in, that way it doesn't go anywhere during traveling. And then to bring it back in, it's just as simple as twisting the rod the other way. And the awning makes its way in. Great little system. Hassle. Quick and easy. And then whenever you're done, clapping that back into place whenever you're traveling. That way it's not hitting the side of the unit. To get inside, just opening up that door. For the most part, this is your doorway. You can open up this other door. Gives you access to this little spot down here where you could have an outlet and store something small. And then hopping on inside, grabbing the handle. Come inside the unit. All the lights are on their own little center switches, so you can get those on like so. Starting off the back of the unit here, you do got your air conditioner. It's pretty simple. You just got that power on button. You got cool and fan. If you're on cool, the air conditioning takes into effect. If you're on fan, it's just moving air around, no air conditioning involved. And then you got your fan settings. You can either set that on high or low. You can also set a timer for if you're leaving the unit. So the air conditioner itself has its own little louvers you can adjust to your desire. And then the unit itself has these little flaps you can close or open as well, just to direct more air. On, off button to turn it off. Back here, if you were to want to turn this back into a table, you just have to lift this out of its spot, put the leg down on the ground here, and insert the other side back into the table, and you'd have a seating area again. And then I'm just going to slide this table out of the way just for camera purposes. And underneath here is where you're going to get access to that little panel, little fuse and breaker panel. Whenever a breaker trips, it's going to sit in the middle, so you do just have to turn it off and then back on again to reset it. And you have all your fuses there. And then just pushing that into place and turning that so it locks into place. LP detector right here on the ground. Because this unit is equipped with propane, you do have to have it if it ever starts going off. Don't panic. Just turn off the main supply of propane, open up some windows and some vents, and ventilate it out. Storage space, lots all around the unit, little hiding spots. Whenever you're opening any of the cupboards or anything, it's going to seem like it's just a pull method, but there is a little switch inside there, which you have to press to unlock it. And the same thing goes for the bathroom. You're going to notice there is one here And if you open it, it doesn't really go anywhere. I think it is just a divider for privacy. And the other side, if you open that up, you get your toilet as well as your little shower area. And then you got your main kitchen area. Of course, more storage all around and lots of little plugs hidden all over the place. You got your range hood, which I do recommend running anytime you're running the stove because it helps evacuate all those propane fumes. Sink, hot and cold water. You got your fridge right down here below. Whenever you're traveling, always making sure that travel latch is strapped. That way it doesn't open up on you and spill everywhere. And if you open up the door, you're going to notice you can run this on either electric or gas. To run it on gas, it's just as simple as turning the knob a quarter turn over to the gas option. Set your thermostat for your desired temperature, and then you just got to hold this in for a few seconds to allow it to prime, especially if you've had the propane off for a while. It takes a few minutes to purge all that out of the... And then there's a little reflector thing here, and you are going to have to try it a few times before it lights, but eventually it will light and hold its own. And then to get it onto electric, you just turn it over to that off section and then over to electric, and it will just fire on electric. Propane is the more efficient way if you want to get it colder faster. And then off to have it off. Little freezer up top. Closing this over, latching that. Got some more storage space underneath here, and this also is where you're going to get access to your water heater for those winterization valves, so you can bypass that tank, as well as your water pump. You are going to have to get a hose to connect to it so you can run all the antifreeze through the lines. Forgot to mention out by the back here, this is where you're going to have your thermostat for your furnace. Now this is only going to run the furnace, so you got your temperature setting up at the top and then just the bottom switch to turn it off or on. And whenever you turn it on and it fires up, once you turn it off, it is going to run for a few extra minutes, so don't panic. And then you can turn it off. Inside this cupboard here, you're just pressing that button. I'm going to get the cameraman to step back here. You can open this up, and inside this cupboard, that is where you get your little monitor panel system. So it'll tell you all your levels, your fresh tank, your gray tank, your holding tank, which is your fresh water tank, and your gray, or sorry, holding is black, gray, and then fresh. You also get your battery level. You got your battery disconnect switch. I personally do prefer just disconnecting the battery at the battery itself, but you can also use the switch. And then your pump button. And then this is just a little light switch for the outside. And some storage space all around. And then you got your furnace here, and that's where it's going to be blowing out all its hot air. So if you want to get a fan just to circulate the air around a little bit, I would advise it. Some more storage space inside here. Just be mindful of that plug outlet at the back there. And then last but not least, you do have a little, I would say it's a clothing drawer. You could pile some clothes in there. But other than that, that is going to be it for this unit here. If you have any other questions, feel free to give us a call.